What's going on, fight fans? Have you ever gotten into debates with your buddies about, who the top 5 greatest punchers in history were, who the top 5 boxers in history were, the top, 5 fastest guys in the history of the sport were? It's always fun, and there's really no wrong answer unless you come up with some bizarre candidates for each category. But I want to take advantage and list my top 5 boxing chins of all time. That's right, a boxer's chin is sometimes his last line of defense in a lot of cases, so I don't think it gains that much attention like it should. I mean, if you can't take a punch, you probably shouldn't be in the business. So anyways, with that being said, let's go through my list here. My top 5. At number 5, Randall Tex Cobb. Now, Cobb appeared almost inhuman when it came to taking punch after punch from the likes of Ken Norton, brutal puncher, Michael Dokes, Larry Holmes, Ernie Shavers. The guy was never off his feet. Wasn't, one of the best of all time in terms of boxing ability, but when it came to taking punishment, I mean, Randall Cobb was definitely one of the best. So number 5, Randall Tex Cobb. All right, so moving on to number 4 on my list, I got Muhammad Ali. Now, Ali was dropped twice in his career early by Henry Cooper, who he knocked out in the following round, and once by Joe Frazier in the 15th round, but he got up right away and took what Frazier had to offer. Ali took the best shots of Frazier 3 times, Ken Norton 3 times, George Foreman, and the hard-hitting punching Sonny Liston, not to mention arguably the hardest puncher in the history of the sport, Ernie Shavers. So Muhammad Ali's chin is definitely one of the most underrated chins of all time, in my opinion, and it's kind of outcast only because of Ali's boxing ability and incredible speed. And it was one of his best features as a fighter. So Muhammad Ali, number 4. All right, number 3 on my list, I got Marvin Hagler. Now, he was only dropped once. That was an off-balance flooring against Argentina's rough and rugged Juan Domingo Roldan, whom he otherwise outclassed. Now, Hagler took all the best bombs of Tommy Hearns, Roberto Duran, John Mugabe, just to name a few, and still did not budge. In 67 professional bouts, Hagler never even wobbled. So Marvin Hagler, number 3. All right, top 2 on my list. Number 2 here, got to go with the Canadian George Chuvalo, heavyweight, who twice went the distance with Muhammad Ali and was never dropped in 93 fights. Never dropped. Now, when Chuvalo was stopped by Joe Frazier, he suffered a fractured cheekbone, and he remained on his feet while being overwhelmed by George Foreman. Chuvalo outlasted the very hard-hitting Jerry Corey in a 7-round war. George Chuvalo, guys, could easily be number 1 on this list. So George Chuvalo, number 2. And moving on to the greatest chin of all time, in my opinion, I got Jake LaMotta, the Raging Bull. Never fell down in over 100 fights till his final fight when he was far past his prime. He took Sugar Ray Robinson's bombs for 6 fights without falling down. Now, Jake took the best shots of all the best middleweights and light heavyweights of his era without flinching. Jake LaMotta, greatest chin of all time, in my opinion. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share. I'm out. Thanks.
It's a revolution, I suppose.